At the end of our 4 perspective essentials, we'll come back and see how they apply to this real-life situation. But first, the first perspective essential is eye level. Here is a line to represent eye level. Eye level is the most important element of perspective because perspective is simply how something looks from a given viewing position. If we were to look at something from higher up, lower down, to the left or to the right, it would change how it looks. And where our eyes are, that's obviously going to be the key element in how something looks. So eye level, first thing of importance. Now, if we were standing on the beach, our eye level would also be the same as the ocean horizon line. And because of that, eye level is also called the horizon line. And obviously there can only be one eye level or one horizon line in one scene. Now, the second perspective essential is vanishing points. Now, this box can represent a building, but you'll notice that these lines, these stand in for how these walls would look if they extended as far as we could see. In fact, if the walls went as far as the horizon, and if they did, at this point and this point, the walls would vanish. And that's why we call them the vanishing points. Now, in a given scene, there can be lots of different vanishing points. There can be more than just 2, but they will always be on the one horizon line or the one eye level. Now, I've chosen to make our building not extend to the horizon, and I've put 2 sides in to make it somewhat smaller. And that brings us to our third perspective essential, which is all horizontal lines on the one flat plane of a surface go to the same vanishing point. And this creates a pattern. I call it the fan-shaped pattern, because if we look at eye level, every horizontal line on the surface of that plane of the building, that side of the building, because it goes to the one point, each line gets greater and greater as it moves higher above eye level than the one beneath it. And that creates a fan-shaped pattern. And if we go below eye level, we also get a fan-shaped pattern. Now, there's only one horizontal line below eye level here, but if there were another one, or another one, or another one, or another one, which would happen if eye level were higher up on the building, then it would work the same way in the other direction. The important thing to realize is as we start to get higher above eye level, the angles can become quite extreme. And that can be, well, difficult to draw when we're drawing from life or from a photo. So very careful observation is needed the higher we're going above eye level to really capture the extreme angles accurately, because they provide a lot of drama, a lot of visual drama for our scene. Another way of understanding perspective is that it shows how things get smaller as they move further away from us. So with this box, this corner is closer to us than this corner. Now we know this corner and this corner are the same height, and that if we were looking straight on from this side, these corners would be the same height and these lines would be parallel. But from this angle, this corner is smaller than this one, or as we'd say more accurately, shorter. And the angle that we have describes the fact that this corner is visually appearing to be smaller and smaller, shorter and shorter as it moves further away. But the fourth point is that it doesn't just get smaller by getting shorter. This wall as it moves away, and of course this one as well, gets smaller in the sense that it gets narrower as it moves further away. Visually, it becomes more compressed as it moves further away. Now, this isn't so obvious on a blank wall, but if we were going to put things on this wall, it would start to become a lot more obvious. And this is really important when we're drawing. And this is what we call foreshortening. Now, if we have a rectangle, we know we can find the halfway point with the diagonals. And that applies when the rectangle is sloping away from us. So if we look at just this side for now, by putting the diagonals, we can see that this is the center point of this wall. But if we were to look in terms of absolute widths, we can see that the halfway point is much further than halfway along the width that we have on the paper. And if we look at this side, the halves, I've done the same thing, so we actually get quarters. And so we can see that for the total width that we can see of this wall, the halfway point is there, the quarter point is there, and the 3/4 point is there. So as we go from closer to further, the quarters become narrower and narrower because visually they're compressing as they move further away. So things get smaller vertically and horizontally as they move further away. Now this matters when we want to put things such as windows and doors on the wall that's narrowing as it moves further away. Now the top and the bottom of the windows, if they line up horizontally in life, they're going to form horizontal lines that will go down to the same vanishing point as the wall. But if we have to position, say, 5 windows the same size, the same distance apart, it becomes very helpful to be able to plot the halfway mark, knowing that my center window will have to straddle that, and then I'll have 2 windows on each side. And the windows need to become narrower as they move from closer to furthest. And it's not just the windows that narrow, it's the space between the windows that narrow if they're all the same distance apart when we look at them front on. Now, when we draw, if we draw from life or we draw from photos, we actually don't even need to understand this theoretical perspective on perspective. We can just draw what we see. But it helps us see what we need to see to draw it accurately more easily if we have an idea of what we're expecting to see. So, where is eye level? Well, if I were drawing this, I'm not going to have room to draw these angles down to find out where they meet. But I do know that eye level will be in between where the lines change direction. Clearly, and the angle is decreasing, which is what it does in the fan-shaped pattern. But when I get down here, I get a sense that the line's going to be going slightly that way. When I come on this side of the building, it certainly is, which means that eye level is going to be above here. In fact, if I look at where this gentleman's head is, I can see that the horizontal lines on the building here all line up in a straight line, which is what happens at eye level. And this is flat ground, and I'm standing facing the building, so his eye level and my eye level are about the same. So above this, the angles slowly start to increase as they get higher and higher. And that means if I were drawing this building, as I get higher and higher, I need to make sure that every horizontal line fans upwards or downwards, depending on where it is. Now, the other thing I can look at is this wall here. Let's find the halfway point here. Let's look at these windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in fact, yes, the halfway point is on the diagonal, and I can see that this is just over an inch on this side, but on the closer side, it's almost 1.5 inches. So visually, this wall is certainly compressing vertically as it comes from closest to further. And I can see that the window width certainly increases as it becomes closer as well. And when I draw, these are the things I need to observe, as well as the thickness between the windows. And as best I can, as I go from closest to furthest, decrease the width of the windows and the gaps between the windows, just as much as I'm trying to increase the angle as I go up in the fan-shaped pattern. And this happens here it happens here, and it happens here, although a lot of this is hidden by this section that comes out. With these 4 basic perspective points, we can understand a huge amount and use it when it comes to real life to help us see what's happening, and therefore, not that we have to plot all this on a sheet of paper, that's almost never practical. But by understanding what we're seeing, we can see it more easily, more quickly, and then we have a far greater chance of accurately capturing it in our drawing. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. Hope these 4 points have been helpful in just getting perspective down to the bare basics. But in the end, however you draw, whatever you draw, make sure you have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.